But speaking of Osiris, this next one we have, I think, is actually probably the most somber lore that I've read so far from this season. It was one that Johnny recommended that I read, and I kind of put it off for a few days. Finally got to it this morning while I was waiting at a doctor's appointment, and it's for the new bow. It's for Wolf Tone Draw. Keep the string a little loose. It's supposed to sound like that. Petrovenge. The slithering dark is cold against my face. I cannot speak, cannot breathe. I reach for Sagira, but then I remember. I form a fist, but feel nothing. I am bound, and as I thrash, the images cut fissures through my mind. Someone? The awoken prince? He helps me to my feet, but still I struggle in the dark, and now she is standing, thanking him, but she uses my voice. My voice! She has stolen my form, my voice, but someone will see my failure and cast her out. They must. A glimmer of sunlight. How long has it been? Zavala looks at me, at her, considers her words, poison cloaked in wisdom. I cry out, he must know. Zavala, listen, listen, you know me, you know not to. Smell of night flowers. I am walking, she is walking through a moonlit garden, and there is Ikora speaking, laughing, nodding. Look, Ikora, look at me, don't you see it? Pay attention, pay attention. I taught you better than this. A woman, an exo, sits before me and sways, eyes vacant, but inside she is sinking as well. Now her voice, her true voice, humming, a gyre of sound, and the exo sways faster and faster. I hear his voice and push to the surface. Saint, no, no, no. I scream, but there is no sound. He looks into her eyes. He smiles. He reaches for me, but it is not me. Saint, that is not me. Please, please. I am weeping, but I cannot weep. I am nothing. Only heat and hate. Only sickness and shame. Trust me. I hear my voice say, and I drown again. So that's horrifying.
Yeah. So
That
this
is
Osiris is his being has been captured, and Savathun has assumed his form, which I'm assuming she's assumed his form in his body and his consciousness is somewhere else. Is that what this is saying?
So yeah, I was kind of curious about that. I think that this means this kind of. So I thought this was a Mad Eye Moody situation when we got things explained last week.
Yeah.
I thought he was locked in a trunk by evil David Tennant in an alternate universe. That did not happen, clearly. Clearly, Savathun was straight up possessing Osiris's body and is suppressing, the real Osiris from coming out. Well, with Savathun in that crystal, that now begs the question of where is Osiris's body at?
Right.
And Osiris has been privy to everything that has happened, which makes the image of him in last week's cutscene where he's crying, he's holding his knees and crying after Sagira's death, even more heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
That's the first time, but correct me if I'm wrong, that I think we've ever seen him without his helmet and without his mask on.
No, we saw him in the Curse of Osiris DLC. When he's talking to Ikora.
I played that one time and never again.
Yeah, him and Ikora had a conversation where he took his hood off. It was like one cutscene at the end.
Anyways, I don't remember that, so it was new to me. He looks very Captain Rex-esque from Star Wars.
That was the meme that was going around during that.
Oh, okay, I got you. Now, see, you step away from a game for 6 months and look what happens.
I mean, it was a good 6 months to step away from, I guess.
It was a very good 6 months. It was very relaxing. This is really heart-wrenching. This kind of confirms, Jesus Christ. This kind of confirms what we've all suspected. You know, we had the lore about Savathun walking through the city, and she was in a prison of flesh and meat and flesh, basically. We were like, oh, she totally made a fake Osiris body. No, she has the real thing in her possession, and that, I think, is even more deadly for Osiris. She didn't just lock him up somewhere. She straight up took his entire body. I don't think that bodes well for Osiris.
It's almost like even if we save Osiris, we can't save him almost.
I hate to be that person, but I feel like Osiris is going to have a blaze of glory moment to try and kill her.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to set off the Witch Queen.
Yeah.
This is very not good. This is very bad.
Mm-hmm.
It is unnerving. I think this speaks to how evil Savathun is, though.
Yeah.
It wasn't enough just to duplicate Osiris's body and take his form. She quite literally took over his body and is forcing him to watch what's happening.
Yeah.
And suppressing him the entire thing. That's also a testament to her power.
It's so
She's
terrifying.
able to suppress probably the strongest willed guardian in the universe.
It's terrifying.
And she is basically, she's made him a meat puppet. If I could, I would send this knowledge to my guardian right now and be like, yo, you need to stop Mara from her plan because she's going to get Osiris killed.
Right.
And then Saint's going to turn around and kill her.
Right. You think Osiris is going to survive till the Witch Queen?
Nope.
Or do you think that's going to set off the witch?
I fully think that that Osiris's death is written on the wall right now.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, I think you can easily avert it, but I do think we're heading for another heart-wrenching character death, which I've seen a lot of people speculate it's going to be Ikora because she's prominently featured in the trailer for the Witch Queen.
Yeah, but they just recast her. I don't feel like you recast her unless you're going to keep her around.
Exactly. Unless you're, having Nolan North do the voice because you plan on killing the character off, like in the first mission.
Yeah, but that...
R.I.P. Cade 6.
Yeah, but this is a little bit different. This feels different than that. Because Nolan North is already around, right? Like, you don't... I feel like...
I was mainly being facetious.
No, I know. But I'm just saying, like, if you're going to kill Ikora, wouldn't you have just, like... had Gina Torres come back for like one day to read some lines and then, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that would have been easy enough.
Enthusiastic voice.
Yeah, that's all.
I think the writing is on the wall there for Osiris, but this is Destiny. Anything can happen. Osiris could be killed off. He could be left alive. Like, who knows? And I really like that Bungie has gotten away from posting lore on their website because this feels like something that in the past probably would have been released as like pre-season lore or something.
Mm-hmm.
Similar to how we got the whole Nokris story on there. We got Osiris's journey leading into Beyond Light was all posted online.
Right.
That's the kind of stuff I want in game, and I love that part of the Witch Queen reveal when they say the days of the story being in lore books is over. So much of what we've already got the last couple of weeks feels like it would have just been relegated to lore books in the past.
Unless we put them in a 300-page compendium and sell them every 6 months for $30.
Dude, listen, I love buying these Grimoire books. I'm gonna need y'all to do one of like everything you ever put online, though. Yeah. Because those are great references, but it's really hard looking up those transcripts, like either on Bungie.net or on Ishtar Collective.
Right.
It's hard for archival purposes and for like researcher purposes, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But before we shift completely out of Lore Corner, I want to address the anomaly they talk about in Peacebound real quickly.
Okay.
Because this is playing into a fan theory. That's why I specifically wanted to read this one when I saw it today. The last bit that I wanted to bring up from this week is some sleuthing that the Destiny community has done. And that is that if you look closely at Ikora's board of notes in front of her in the Witch Queen trailer, we never see where she is. But it very clearly, I don't think she's in the throne world at all.
No.
There is an image, if you zoom in, that is the exact map of Destiny 1's Mars, of the exclusion zone. What if we bring back Destiny 1 Mars? What if Ikora figures out a way to break the anomaly open, and we get that, and we finally figure out what happened to Callus in the Witch Queen? What if that's the seasonal arc? Yeah, when Witch Queen launched this, we launch an investigation into what happened to Callus.
Or like if that's like, I don't know, the second season of the expansion or whatever. Like maybe not. Right. You know.
Well, like we've tied together so many, like all 4 seasons have tied together now. Mm-hmm. The storyline from Arrivals straight through has literally told the same. Yeah, it's connected. Well, Arrivals led straight into Beyond Light, and then Season of the Hunt started a storyline. It's really Crow's story in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Crow and it's Crow and Savathun. They've really been the center of this storyline. And now, we've seen that path weave, and it's just a matter of how do we get to what happens in the Witch Queen now.
Which is crazy to think about, because that whole Beyond Light trailer focused on Elsie.
Which it's an expansion. It's supposed to focus on the expansion. I'm glad we went in knowing nothing about the season.
Yeah.
That's been such a treat that they've been doing since Arrivals. They don't tell us what's happening in the season until the week of or the day of.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. It gives me it lets me, because when we got the Endless Night last season, we were all shocked.
Yeah.
We were like, what the hell is happening here? Oh, Mithrax is here. Oh my God. When we talk about, we just did the road. This whole year's been the road to Witch Queen from Hunt onwards, right?
Yeah.
We started dealing with Ziva, Wrathback, and Hunt in an underwhelming season, but great for lore, and then 3 stellar seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So that story end in the Witch Queen. That makes it logical. The season we get with Witch Queen is going to start the road to Lightfall,
right?
And ultimately the final shape.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to be laying seeds for the final shape in the Witch Queen base expansion.
Yeah.
But if we're gonna proceed to Lightfall, the clash of light and dark, finally, you have to have Callister. He is the only one who's truly glimpsed the darkness and lived to tell the tale, or so he claims.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's really encountered whoever's behind the pyramids, maybe Callus comes back and we have to bring him out of the dark. We have to bring him back to kind of the neutral side. We're very clearly in the middle. And Savathun makes note of that this week in this week's quest dialogue. She says, there is a line, the line between light and dark is so very thin.
Mm-hmm.
She said, we've heard that before, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she says it to us again. And she says, if you want to know where you stand in this fight, simply stand on the line and look up.
Yeah. I feel like Elsie said that at the beginning of Beyond Light.
Elsie says that, and I believe Aramis says it as well.
Yeah. Yeah, Aramis definitely said it too. Yeah.
It's great. I think that this is...
Gosh, there's so much that happened this whole year, and it's so easy to forget how much has just happened.
And now, back and we have to reread everything that Osiris said to us this year, because we have to read it as Savathun now.
Yeah.
And that makes it even worse.
Yeah.
Oh God, we're gonna have to catch y'all up.
We're just her marionettes. We
really are. She is a master puppeteer. Savathun has been built for years now. We had her first mention in the Books of Sorrow, but even from Base Destiny 2, they started hinting at Savathun. We had Savathun's song. We had the strike with the Shrieker.
Mm-hmm.
And then in Forsaken, obviously, Oryx was the one who took Riven initially, but then Savathun comes in and Riven grants the last wish to Savathun. Mm-hmm. She starts the murder battery, and she's been interfering ever since then. Mm-hmm. She stirred up the conflict on the moon to draw our attention away.
Mm-hmm.
She tried to interfere with the Dark Fleet. She mentions that. She took Osiris's form. She led Crow to us. She, helped stop she helped stop the Endless Night. She didn't expect us to survive that. She claims to have helped drive the Cabal to the bargaining table as Osiris, even though I think that was meant to backfire as well. We've defeated her at every single turn, essentially. Mm-hmm. The only thing that went the way she wanted it to was us bringing Crow, and that was supposed to be a weapon for her. Right. Was for the city to learn who he was and turn him against us.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on with Savathun. We're going to have to do a recap on her. I know we did a lore corner on her last year, but the last 15 months have kind of changed our perception of her drastically.
Right.
And there's just so much to
plus
take
with
in
plus with the comments that they made in that interview, if she's not really the big bad, then who is, right? You really have to there's so much, because
at that not point, only do you probably the winnower, right? The fabled one behind the veil, the enemy behind the veil. I think the Wizard of Oz, essentially.
I'm saying not only do you have to read Osiris as Savathun now, but you also have to read it from the point of Savathun is scared and running from something that's scarier than she is.
For Savathun to be scared shitless, there is something that happens that forces her to retreat to her throne room. Oh, something happens that forces her to go there.
Man, This is it's getting so good.